Part of making a food forest is ensuring that your soil is able to give a lifetime's worth of nutrients to the plants that you're going to grow. In essence, you're going to be growing mostly perennials that are going to need an ongoing steady supply of nutrients. And that's why green manure and making sure you're setting your food forest up for the best possible growth throughout its lifespan is worth the sacrifice. My food forest was always going to have three main areas. That one that we planted up, the one at the back there for a lot of berries, and this section. So in winter this year, I marked the section out, dug it a little bit in, and planted it full of black oats. Black oats is an amazing green manure. It creates a huge amount of biomass under the ground. And then when it's at the stage it is now, you cut it down, put it flat, put whatever you want to on top, and suddenly you have a full nitrogen fixing environment with an incredibly dense root structure that's going to decompose, create a whole lot of soil life, and then start improving the soil structure. There are a range of different green manures that you can use. There's quite a lot of grains, lots of different types of oats. I'm using black oats. You can use pretty much whatever you want to use. I needed a significant amount of biomass, which is why I opted for black oats. And you can see when the black oats reach the stage that they've just started seeding, that's when you know it's ready to be cut down. If you take one of these seed pods and you pop it, you'll see it's still all milky inside. So what that means is you don't have a whole bunch of ripe seeds that are going to germinate and end up with another little mini forest of oats. You end up with all of this nutrient going back into the soil. So my dog thinks this is a buffet for herself. She often, as you can see, it's stompled down, comes in here and has a little nibble on the wheat. It's good for their tummies. So yeah, she has a field day in here. So I just want to take a piece of the soil out to show you what the root structure looks like, and then you can get an idea of the biomass that's created within the ground that then helps improve the soil structure and adds nutrients back into the soil. Okay, so if I bring you in close, you can see all of these fine roots, and it probably still goes deeper, but that's about 15 centimeters deep. Very, very dense, very fragile, so these will all break down very quickly and add all the nutrients back into the soil. So you can see for yourself quite substantial root mass that's created as a result of this, which is really setting this garden up for a good time moving forward. So now the next thing is get yourself a big pair of scissors, and we're going to start cutting this down, laying it flat, and that'll be the first layer of this food forest floor that we're busy building up. And there our bed has been chopped down, and we have copious amounts of green manure. This is going to add a lot of nitrogen back into the soil, give the soil really good structure, and create a healthy environment for for the living organisms in the soil and in this green manure. So what I want to be doing now is I'm going to level out the soil, the green manure, so that it's roughly level and there's the same amount everywhere. Then there's two products that I'm going to add, and I add these because it's difficult for the soil to build it up and it's going to stay in the soil for a very long time. The first one is bone meal. In some other countries like Australia they call it blood and bone. This is basically refined bones and other things that have a very high phosphorus count. Now, phosphorus is critically important to your flowering and fruiting plants. It also is one of the elements that's quite difficult for the soil to build up on its own. So this is a definite for adding into a long-term bed. And then the other product we're going to add in, which I see incredible results with, is dried milled seaweed. Basically what it is, it's seaweed flakes, and as soon as they've been watered, they actually swell up. So firstly, they retain a lot of moisture. Obviously they break down over time, so they add to soil structure. But most importantly is they contain a lot of micronutrients. Now, some of you might know, some of you might not know, that when you put fertilizers into your gardens, you are mostly putting in macronutrients. And sometimes plants need just that little bit of kick of micronutrients. So that's why I add the seaweed into the beds, so that from the get-go, micronutrients are there, slow release, and they build the soil structure. Okay, now we've got green manure done, spread out evenly. We've got our bone meal down, our milled seaweed down, and the only thing that's left is to add your top layer. Now, here you can do whatever you want to. Basically, the magic is going to be happening in this layer. So what you put on top will obviously filter through, but it also needs to act as a mulch to keep this moist so it can start breaking down quickly. You can use bokashi, which is a really good option because it's a living compost which will help with the decomposition and put microorganisms back into the soil. Compost, leaves, fine mulch, there's a lot you can do. Personally, I'm going to use fine mulch because it is high in organic matter. It's going to take quite a long time to break down, which is what you want in a food forest environment. And it's going to be a really powerful insulator and mulch to keep the underneath dry. So all I'm going to do now is put the fine mulch on top, and then you'll see how this bed is completely transformed, and all it needs is some water to get everything set in, and it's ready to be planted. Now that we've got all this awesome organic matter added to top, let's spread it out. We're going to compact it a little bit just because of all the air that gets trapped in the green manure, and then it's ready for water, and we'll leave it for a couple of days just to all settle in, and it's ready to be planted up. And voila! We have a brand new, healthy, nutrient-rich food forest floor to start planting into. This has been a bit of a process. It's been a patient wait, but if it's something you need to do because your soil might not be good, it is worth the wait. The patience will definitely pay off, and I'm really excited about this. The next video is me planting it up so you can see what I'm going to put in. And if you've got any questions about anything that I've done, the reasons why I've done things, or you need any advice on what maybe you can do for your soil, drop me a comment. If you enjoyed this video and got value out of it, please like it. And also please subscribe to my channel so you can watch my journey as I go along, and just give away free knowledge as and when I learn things. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy gardening!